And the last thing I want to do, I want to kind of tag the Bengals. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Joe Burrow's comment about getting refunds at the neutral site was classic. Classic. Instantly, I'm like, I like this guy. I really like this guy. And we talked about the Bengals last year. Early last year, you were riding high on the Bengals early last year, and I wasn't sold. Even through last year, despite the fact that they went to the Super Bowl, I wasn't completely sold at the beginning of this year. I said I'm not completely sold. We'll see what's going to happen with Zach Taylor. That maybe they got lucky, had a run. That kind of stuff happens. They have a better record this year than last year. People need to understand they have a better record this year than they had last year, going back up against the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. They can win this whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that they got to the Super Bowl last year with the team that they had and with Joe Burrow getting hit as much as he did, like they had 3 starting offensive linemen out in that game against the Bills. And Joe Burrow had all day to throw. Like it just, at this point, whatever they're doing, like everything works. Like at some point, they're going to get in the end zone. They're going to hang at least 24 points on everybody they play. Like they look unstoppable right now.
Yeah. And to Zach Taylor's credit, Zach Taylor, I wasn't real sold on him either. And you and I remember you and I had that discussion. He has won almost 4 times as many games in the last 2 years as he did in the first 2 years. You want to talk about a turnaround? That's ridiculous. He won two games in the first year, 4 games the second year, 10 last year, and 12 this year. Maybe 13 or 14 this year. I don't know. But just an incredible weekend for football, man. And I am so freaking excited. We didn't talk about the ankle injury. This is a big deal for an athlete of that caliber, paid that much money, who wants to win that bad. I mean, the Chiefs know they can legitimately win the Super Bowl. We talked about this last week. Mahomes is probably getting that realization. It's not as easy to win a Super Bowl ring as I thought it was. He probably would have thought he would have had another one by now. So I know they're all in taking this very seriously. And he did everything he could to play yesterday, and he just couldn't. I mean, he was so visibly hurt. I don't know if you heard, was it Romo did their game?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And Romo was talking about he had a high ankle sprain.
Or no, it was Tirico and Collinsworth.
So Collinsworth was talking about when he had a high ankle sprain, he was like, he will probably be on crutches on Wednesday. Now, we've got medicine's come a long way since Chris Collinsworth played, right? We know that. They're going to do everything they can to make sure he's on the field. But he still may not be 100%. And it's going to change the game a little bit. And with as good as the Bengals played yesterday, I think it's fair to say all 4 of these teams, whoever wins in each game is going to have pretty much play fucking flawless to get it done. There ain't much room for mistakes in these games. So the ankle injury. Now he's young, and with medical advancement, I mean, they may tape him up, and his adrenaline pump, he may not be a big deal, and he gets 2 weeks arrested. I don't know. We'll see. But that is something noteworthy that we should mention, that the ankle may come into play with this.
Yeah, no, I would bet on it coming into play, more than not. Even though, during the game, Collinsworth and Tirico were making it sound like his leg fell off and he was still finding a way to play the game. You know what I mean? And high ankle sprains are worse than low ankle sprains, so I understand all that. But he'll be able to get through it. You know what I mean? Like Phillip Rivers played a playoff game on a torn ACL. Like Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to play on a sprained ankle, but it will change the way he has to play. Like you noticed in the game, just handing the ball off on stretch plays was more difficult for him. So his mobility is certainly going to be different. He's going to have his ankle taped up, and that's going to change the way he's running. So I think that'll certainly sway things. And at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes not being able to be Patrick Mahomes and be the Magic Man is certainly going to change this game.
But with that said, I take an injured Patrick Mahomes over about 28 other quarterbacks in this league.
You're goddamn right.
So there's that. I think predicting that game, I think the Bengals have the Chiefs number, man. Every team's got a team that is just a thorn in their side, and they don't want to face them. And I know Mahomes, the whole 0-3 thing, and he's out for revenge and all that, but there has to be in the back of your mind somewhere, we can't let this happen again. And when you're playing to lose, it's different than playing to win. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals have the Chiefs number.
It's hard to argue that, truly, especially with the way the Bengals are playing, and like, again, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's one of one. Travis Kelce, especially in the playoffs, like, he's just different. Like, he might be the best receiver. You could argue Travis Kelce the best receiver in the league. Just year after year, what he does. He's the best tight end since Tony Gonzalez. Both drafted by the Chiefs, by the way. Great job by them. And look, I was thinking about this game on my drive home from work today. And like, we talk about the quarterback coach and how some of those marriages are just match made in heaven and they're magical. And that's how Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes feels. It just feels like no matter the circumstances, no matter the roster, no matter who's there, they can find a way to get it done. But I also feel like if we're talking about Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, Joe Burrow's 1B. He's right there. And I feel like in a short period of time, he's solidified himself as that guy. And like you said, the Bengals just have their number. Anarumo, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, is exceptional, especially in the biggest games. It always feels like the Bengals find a way to come through. And Lou Anarumo has to be a big reason of that, and the way he schemes things up. You saw it against the Bills, the way they were able to stop them with Josh Allen. And they do it every time against the Chiefs. They know how to stop this Andy Reid offense. And I think they're going to be able to do it again. And I think this game is going to look a lot like this Bengals-Bills game just looked. It's hard to say Mahomes is going to look pedestrian, but I think that ankle injury is going to affect this game enough that the Bengals defense is going to disrupt a lot. I think they're going to have some interceptions in this game, and it's really going to throw things off for the Chiefs offense. So go ahead and give me the Bengals to make it to their second straight Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. We got a very real possibility of a rematch of Super Bowl 16 when a young quarterback and his famous tight end, young quarterback Joe Montana, his famous tight end Dwight Clark connected to beat the Cowboys. It was in the championship game to advance to the Super Bowl. And then they went on to beat the Bengals 26-21. So, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, it might be history repeating itself. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure feels that way right now. The Bengals have a real shot, but the 49ers are steamrolling people.
Yeah.
And I would love to know what you think about this game, what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. You let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.